Happy New Year! Welcome back to my art studio. Every year I like to take a step back and do an honest check-in with my art business, the things that actually worked, what didn't, and what no longer fits. And then I use that information to plan the year ahead. I thought I would share my findings with you as I was conducting this business audit while we prepare my studio for the new year. It is a disaster. It's hard to tell because all you can see right now is walls. But if I move you, look at this. There's my desk is a disaster. I still have all of this from painting coasters for the holiday. Look at this. This is normally where I keep all my paints. Oh, it's bad. So we're going to tidy up and reorganize everything. And then I'll talk to you about what kind of things I want to change and how we're going to move forward into 2026. The first thing I would like to leave behind in 2025 is systems that are not working. Organization, my studio as a whole, is a big problem. Paint tubes is probably the most annoying. These currently live on a shelf in my closet that's behind you, which is not functional for while I'm painting. So they end up coming out here and just sitting on the counter. And then because they're tubes, they don't really work very good on the counter. This is not good. I feel like the tubes need to be hung somewhere. So I'd like to get a system like that this year. It's not such a big deal having like the condiment bottles on the counter, but for the tubes of paint, it's definitely an issue. I also need to fix my canvas storage. I just need to implement better systems surrounding my entire practice. And I think that will help eliminate a lot of bad habits, such as leaving brushes in water for 4 weeks. Systems that aren't working. I'll be honest, I planned to make this video earlier and I didn't. And for a while, I felt really guilty about that, but the truth is I was just overwhelmed. Every time we open our phones, there's this constant onslaught of news and updates and urgency. It starts to feel like you're supposed to be paying attention to everything all the time. And when there's so much wrong happening at once, it can do this strange thing where you don't know what the right action is. So you just freeze. You want to respond in a meaningful way, but you can't fix everything, and somehow that turns into doing nothing at all. And then there's this quiet pressure that if you're not talking about what's happening, or if you're making or sharing something gentle or normal, that it's not okay. That's been sitting with me. As I'm cleaning up my studio, I keep thinking about how much of our attention shapes who we become, especially as artists. We spend so much time on screens, taking in constant information and emotional weight. And while being informed matters, that kind of nonstop input slowly pulls us away from the things that make us feel human. For artists, I think that loss hits even harder. There's this guilt that can creep in about making art at all, especially beautiful or quiet work when the world feels heavy, like creating something pretty isn't serious enough. Like our energy should be going somewhere louder or more immediate. But art isn't extra, it's essential. Making things by hand, slowing down, paying attention to color and texture and light, that's not avoidance. That's how humans have always processed life. It's how we stay connected to meaning. When screen time takes over, I feel it right away. My thoughts get scattered, my creativity feels thin, even being in the studio starts to feel disconnected. Which is why in 2026, I've decided I want to set designated analog hours. These are specific times of day that I'm going to unplug from everything, go screen-free, and just focus on one specific thing: reading, writing, just meditating and being in a space. It really helps my attention span be better, it brings back creativity, and honestly just makes me feel like a better human being. I absolutely love how the room feels with all of the old stuff taken out of it. It feels like a space full of possibilities. And I can't wait to continue to curate this into a place that I truly love being in and see what kind of art comes out of this room in 2026. Welcome to my storage room. So this is where I keep all of my market stuff. So when it's a market day, I can just grab it and throw it in the car, and it's really fast and easy. So in 2026, I'm wanting to switch up a lot of my market offerings. A big one is going to be my prints. I'm letting go of my old styles. I am really feeling called to paint in a different style. And so I've only been selling my art for 5 years, and seeing people who have been doing this as a career for so much longer than me, 20 years, 30 years, and how they change up their styles over time was really encouraging. Sometimes it feels like we have to niche down and like do one thing all the time because that's what people expect from you. But I think that it actually helps if we switch up our styles over the years, and eventually you might find that thing that just clicks and gets you a whole bunch of success and people really love it. So that's what I'm doing this year. I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of these really old things that I don't feel connected to anymore and moving in a whole new direction. In addition to the art style I'll be painting, I also want to move away from these prints. So I currently have been offering both paper and foam board prints. The foam board prints are really nice for college kids because a lot of them buy prints because it's in their price range, but then they never frame them. So the foam board was something that they could just prop on a shelf. It's thin enough you could put it in a frame, but rigid enough that you could just put it on a shelf or something. But I've decided that I'm just going to have the one option moving forward. I find that I usually have to explain this a lot, and I think just having the one will also make my work a little more professional looking. I can sign in the borders like normal, and yeah, so these are something that are going to be going away as we head into 2026. Another product that I am kind of switching up, it's not totally dying, but that would be another product I'm switching up is going to be my stickers. So I love offering stickers. Oh my gosh, that wasn't closed. They all just fell out. I love offering stickers at markets. They sell really well. I put my artwork in the background, and then I put like a funny quote on the top. Since I paint abstract, that's kind of the only way I can do stickers in a way that will sell. But a lot of my stickers are kind of irreverent, like sweary stickers, which are funny. They sell really well. But I think moving forward, as I make new designs, I really would like to make more uplifting, wholesome messages with my stickers. I want to say something more with my designs. The favorites aren't going anywhere, but as I make new things, they're going to be in that direction. Something else I'd like to let go of in 2026 are misaligned opportunities. I've been making a list of all the markets I want to not attend this year and new ones I would like to try. There is some gallery representation that I had in 2025 that I am going to switch up in 2026. Prioritizing fit over prestige. Just because a gallery wants to have your work doesn't necessarily mean that they are the right fit for you. If you don't feel like they are doing enough to earn commission off of your pieces, then don't have your stuff there. I've found that there are certain things that I sell way easier than a stranger can, and that's okay. So prioritizing fit over appearances. I did a lot of networking this year and learned about a lot of new markets. Specifically, have learned that they are all in a specific area in my state. So I'm going to be prioritizing that location. I'm letting go of commissions. It's something that's never really brought me in a ton of money. It just gives me more stress than anything else. People tend to buy my like existing pieces more than wanting to commission something specific, which I actually love. In fact, I have one commission left that I need to do still, and as soon as that's gone, I'm leaving those behind. Another thing I'll be leaving behind in 2026 is Instagram. Now, when I first started, Instagram and TikTok really brought in a lot of great business and traction. I got good engagement there, and it was really fulfilling to share my work there. And over the past couple years, the engagement has dwindled. I kind of feel like I'm talking to myself when I post on there. I don't know if that's been your experience, but it is just not working out. So in 2026, I've decided I'm going to be prioritizing YouTube. I find it so fulfilling making videos here. It's really satisfying. I appreciate everyone's comments, and I just feel so much happier prioritizing this platform. So I've put up a 9-grid strategy on my Instagram. If you aren't familiar with that, it just means that you have the first 9 posts on your page. They each answer questions or provide different information about your business. So it's kind of like treating your Instagram like a website. That way, when you're applying to exhibitions, galleries, markets, and whatever, if they want to look at your social media, they can still see that I have an Instagram and it looks well curated. I will still be posting to my stories, and then if I make content for like YouTube shorts, I might cross post onto Reels and TikTok that way. But I'm going to be putting my energy into this app instead, treating the others as more secondary, which I've been doing in reverse for the past 5 years. So I'm really excited to see how that change plays out. So that's all the stuff I want to leave in 2025. Let's talk about the things I liked that I'd like to keep. So one of the best things I did in 2025 was add more affordable, functional products to my offerings. My absolute favorite product that I implemented was my greeting cards. I had to restock these multiple times. In fact, there's a lot of styles that I'm out of. I absolutely loved these. They are just blank inside. I have a whole bunch of different designs. This is something that I will be keeping moving forward. I know I mentioned I'm going to be getting rid of my old prints, but I will continue to offer them on these cards, at least the best sellers. If I make pieces that I really love as I work on my new collection for 2026, I may offer those as cards as well. But this is something that was just not on my radar. I'm not a person who really buys greeting cards, and so it's not a product that I thought of. So I'm really grateful to my art friend for suggesting it to me. This is why you network at markets, people. This is why. Another thing I added was ornaments. So I've never painted ornaments before because, again, it's not something that I do personally. Like, we have a set of ornaments that we just use every year. I'm not a person that collects new ones all the time, but a lot of people are. And so I just quickly whipped up a whole bunch of little ornaments on these wood slices, and they were a huge hit. I've only got a couple left. I actually have some more functional art ideas I'm going to be implementing as we go throughout the year, and I'm excited to share more on that in future videos. But yes, functional art, affordable, little joyful purchases is definitely something I want to make more of in the year to come. Another thing I want to do is update my signage and my displays. So I mentioned before, I want to do a full branding rehaul, modernize my logo and just the overall aesthetic. And I would like to eventually redo all of my signs and stuff and extend that display into my booth, not just my website. Another big shift I want to make in 2025 is with my actual art style. So when I first started painting, I was very into acrylic pouring, and that's really what I have been known for. And I've been really feeling called to painting something a little different. And I am going to be venturing more into the world of abstract landscapes in 2026, like the pieces behind me. I'm really wanting to do a collection inspired by my local landscape. I live in Utah. We have so many beautiful features here, so many wonderful natural parks. This is also something that I got really good feedback on. Anyway, the validation kind of is helping me take the courageous next step. I love choosing like a theme word for the year every year. And for 2026, my word is rhythm. I'm really wanting to focus on building more solid routines and rituals around really every aspect of my life, but especially my art business. And I think the other areas that I also am adding them will just help with my art. So in 2025, I started walking. I would walk a mile every day before work. Physical movement is so amazing for your mind. It really helps you be more creative and open-minded. And I really have been enjoying having that added to my day. And I think it will also help with my performance at markets. It really takes a lot out of me setting up and taking down and standing all day. And it's a lot of physical work being at a market. And I think that I want to train a little bit for market season next year. So now that we've talked about things I'd like to leave or bring into 2026, I want to talk about a few new goals I'd like to implement. The first one involves YouTube. I touched on this a little bit earlier. I definitely want to try to post twice a month. And I hope that being consistent can help me finally become monetized. I am this close. And one of my goals is to do that and then hopefully reward myself by getting an actual camera so I can stop recording on my cell phone. Another thing I would like to do in 2026 is have a regular paint schedule. This goes along with like my rhythms and routines and rituals for 2026. But currently, I just paint when I feel like it. I would like to have like a specific time that I come down here every week and paint. I really love to have one of my pieces in a commercial space, whether that's an office, a hotel, a hospital, a restaurant, something like that. That would be really fun for me. I would also love to eventually attend a market outside of Utah. I don't know if it is financially in the cards for us yet, but I am planning to attend markets that are a little further away from us in Utah as a little baby step to see how we are as far as planning and staying overnight in a hotel and having to go to the market, all of that. I think it will be a great baby step so I can see what it's like a little bit traveling out of state. I also need to look into how the taxes work. As I wrap this up, I'm reminding myself that this reset isn't about doing more. It's about doing what actually fits, letting go of what drains me and keeping what supports both my work and my life. If you're an artist or small business owner navigating your own reset, I'd love to hear from you. What are things that you're leaving behind or something that you want to bring into 2026? Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.